Good evening. This episode of the Intraday Price Action Recap is being brought to you by the Smart Money Manuscript. Hello, my name is Timothy Leroy Sr., and I'm the creator of the Smart Money Manuscript. But Tim, what is the Smart Money Manuscript? The Smart Money Manuscript is your roadmap to financial freedom. Inside this powerful course designed to transform your financial future, I've meticulously condensed over 1,000 of my public YouTube videos into 40 highly efficient lessons that span just 2.5 hours. This course is strategically designed into 4 phases to help guide your learning in the most logical and effective way possible. Phase 1 lays the groundwork, covering essential financial literacy like budgeting, banking, and taxes. In phase 2, you'll move beyond the basics, learning about brokerage accounts, figuring out how much you need for your own individual retirement. You learn about how to do fundamental research on companies, and you'll also learn how to conduct technical analysis by looking at stock charts. Phase 3 empowers you to build a robust portfolio and leverage your capital using advanced techniques like options and futures, and it also teaches you the importance of backtesting your strategies. Finally, phase 4 takes a deep dive into the advanced ICT concepts, giving you a professional edge. Each lesson includes a short quiz to help solidify your understanding. By the end of this journey, you'll have the confidence and tool that you need to make intelligent investing decisions, manage your money without fear or ambiguity. So if you want to be a long-term buy and hold investor, if you want to be a swing trader, if you want to be a day trader, if you want to trade stocks, if you want to trade options, if you want to trade futures, the Smart Money Manuscript is for you for $69.99. Yes, $69.99 for all of this here. Check. I'm assuming, hey, I got the wrong background. I ain't been on since Saturday. I ain't shared my screen since Saturday. Man, I guess not, because I ain't turned my screen on what's the name? I'll be turning my stream on the Q&As and on the what you call it? What we be doing in the morning? What's the name of the thing we do in the morning? I'm having a brain cramp right now. Who remember the throwback Aranya Grande? Oh, this really throwback here. Y'all remember that one? Y'all remember this one here? Oh man, I don't have the other one. I ain't got like the throwback in here. What like the throwback real OG gang. No, I ain't got that in there. Let's go here. Where y'all want to be today? Y'all want to be in the lit library, or y'all want to be in the dungeon? Where y'all want to be at today? The lit library don't look right with my lamp. My lamp look weird in the lit library. It might look weird in the dungeon too. Where y'all want to be at today? Somebody tell me where y'all want to be. Y'all want to be in the lit library, or y'all want to be in the mysterious library? Spooky. Why y'all ain't talking to me, man? Y'all know my feelings get hurt when y'all don't talk to me.
Library good, Tim.
Yeah, go for the mystery library.
The spooky library. The dungeon. This the newest one. That's the throwback right there. And then the other one, that it was, wait a minute, it was another one before this, and it was this, and it was this. Now it's this. And they all got the same thing in common. Aranya Grande is present. Uh-oh. I hit the wrong thing. Why is it not showing? Don't take when you're trying to find something and it's not giving you what you want. But there it is. There it is. There it is right there. That's what I had added Robinson in there. Now, who remember this one? Who in here now remember this one? Y'all remember this one? Yeah, that's what I had added. I added Robinson in over here, right
Yeah, I
there.
remember that one.
I added Robinson right there. Because initially Robinson wasn't there. It was just Calandra right here in the corner. And then I added Robinson on the wall right there with me and him was in South Carolina. We was going to Kiki daughter's funeral. And we took that picture together right there. And here. Throwback. Throwback gang. It was another one before that. It was another one before this. Initially, let me see if I still got it in here. It was let me see. Let's see. No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, it was the outside. The outside is when I used to have the water. Remember when I used to have the bird sounds going on? We had the outside. That was like on the weekend. That was on the weekend pop-ups when we used that one. The weekend pop-ups had little and birds and stuff used to be loud. Be like, hey Tim, turn the birds down, man. We can't hear nothing. uh the other one ain't in here. It was just like it was just like a chart. It was like a chart with like the Spider Gang logo on there. It was like a chart with the Spider Gang logo on there. It y'all know I'm down a rabbit hole now, so y'all just got to deal with it. Y'all just got to deal with it. Once I get in my rabbit hole, y'all just got to deal with it. You just got to deal with it. Once I get in the rabbit hole. Once I get in the rabbit hole. Uh, oh well. I don't know where I put that one there, but it's the throwback with the it's just a chart with a spot with the spider on the background. I saw it on another picture, but that ain't the picture that I was looking for. I saw it like on a thumbnail. It was like on a thumbnail, but it wasn't that wasn't what I was looking for. I saw it on a thumbnail. Oh well. All right. Good evening, everybody. If this is your first time tuning into Tim's Tidbits, allow me to say welcome. I still can't stop looking for it. Caught up now. If it's not your first time tuning into Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome and give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always tuning into Tim's Tidbits. Let me stop being distracted trying to find this thing. Close that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., aka Aranya Grande. That's just Big Spy, you know, hablo español. And you're now tuned to another episode of the Intraday Price Action Recap. The Intraday Price Action Recap is being brought to you by the Smart Money Manuscript. The Smart Money Manuscript is a course that I created. It talks about everything, trading, investing, all of that from the basics, basic money information all the way through advanced trading and scalping techniques. All covers everything, right? Covers everything. Check it out. First link in the description below. $69.99. I think it's the best $69.99 you ever spend in your life. Not only do you get 19 videos and 19 quizzes to test your knowledge, you also get the opportunity to meet with me every second Saturday, right? Every second Saturday, except for this Saturday. My oldest daughter is graduating from college, so I will not be doing a Q&A this Saturday. We'll push it back to the third Saturday this month. We'll do it on the 20th, right? We'll do it on the 20th at noon because I will not be in town on the 13th. But every second Saturday, you get to do a Q&A with me at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No extra charge at all. That is what they call mentoring. Speaking of links below, got an affiliate link down there somewhere for Apex. Apex got a sale going on right now. All of their evals are the same price. So no matter what eval size you choose right now, if you buy it and pass it, well, it's the ninth. It's the ninth. The ninth is today, right? It's 60. You still get 60% off, but to be able to pass it before today and pay $6, that's up unless they extend it. Let me see if it's extended. Nope, it just say 5 hours left, right? So today, right, it's still 60% off. You can get it for 60% off, but to get it for all-in price of $84.40 for any size, that's going to end today. You still pay $78.40 for any size if you buy it today before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the $6 assignment fee, that's only good till today unless they extend it, right? If you buy it today and then pass it on Monday and be like, hey, I thought it put them at $6. The $6 is only good while the promotion is running. After the promotion over, the PA fee go back to whatever the PA fees are unless they running a new promotion. All right. But the link's still down there if you want to utilize my link and get your eval, any size eval for $78.40 right now. All right. Now that the promoting's out of the way, y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, man. And while y'all hitting the like button, hit the share button. Share it with somebody who you think will get something out of this stream, right? And spam risk, love, man. I block at least 17 spam numbers a day. At least. I block at least 17 of them a day. I kid you not. I kid you not. I block at least 17 a day. Block, report, delete. At least 17 a day. Did Price do anything? Throwback Spider Gang on the back of my case. Got the Throwback Spider Gang logo on the back of my case there. Hey, it's kind of crooked. Kind of crooked. All right, man. Did Price do anything today that caught you off guard? Did Price do anything today that caught you off guard? Did Price do something that, made you go, why did Price do that? If it did, let me know. If it did, drop it in the chat if you're on YouTube. If you're in the gang, unmute and say, hey, Tim, Price did this when I thought it was going to do that. Can you walk with me through Price and see what I missed? What signature did I miss? All right. We're here to help each other, man. Each one teach one. We're here to learn from each other. Who we got up in here, man? Who in the Zoom with me? Who hanging out with me in the Zoom? I see Jim. What's going on, Jim? I'm the biggest bird. What's up, Gigi? What's going on? We got Seawalker in here. We got Yolanda in here. I see RN Deborah up in here. RN Deborah got the poetic justice braids, right? RN Deborah got the poetic justice braids. I see the spam bot herself in here to learn and share. Don't forget that part. She's here to learn and share. You hear me? We got Kim up in here. I see Sean Valentine. Oh, that's Valentine. Hola, Valentine. All right. We got Honey. What's going on, Tish? Tish up in here. We got JT Trades. Is that Jada? I think that's Jada with 19 different names. JT, oh, J Trade Z, or JT Radz. What is that? Is that J Trade Z or JT Radz? It's got to be J Trade Z because it's a capital J. So that's J T R D T R A D Z Y, Trade Z. All right. J Crazy, if you ask me, but it say J Trade Z. We got Felicia up in here. What's going on, Felicia? Love, peace, and hair grease to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see more numbers than I see names, but them all names I'm see, so them all the names gonna say. Yeah, man. I don't see nothing in the chat, and I don't hear nobody unmuting. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. I'm gonna share my screen. I won't be before you long. I want to get back to looking at what it's called, Pluribus. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I started watching a show called Pluribus last night. I'm on episode 2 right now. It's got me wondering what is going on with this show. Got me wondering what is going on. It is quite peculiar right now. It is quite peculiar. All right. I'll just moving that over. Make sure I ain't blocking nothing on the screen. This is today's price action. Right. This is our new day opening gap from today. This is our new week opening gap from yesterday. Slightly out of focus right there. All right. So this is today's price action right here. All right. So this morning on the pre-market analysis, right, talked about how the NQ well, I think the NQ was being the it was the laggard yesterday about taking out the daily low. The ES and the Dow had traded far below the daily low yesterday. And then today, the NQ was rushing toward the low a little bit faster. And we talked about how we had this sell side liquidity here from the daily low. And we also had sell side liquidity resting there. If the NQ got heavy, right, that's the sell side liquidity we was focusing on based off what the higher time frame is doing, right? We said that we got sell side liquidity here, but this would be the sell side liquidity that I personally would like to see swept before going back up, since we're selling out pretty good. Why am I saying that? Because we engineered relative equal highs here and traded away, right? Once we engineered these relative equal highs and traded away, right? Once we came below this low right here, we did not go back up and take that high, right? We went back up to a premium and then we came back down to this low. So since we came back down to this low, then I would like to see us take out, right, some significant liquidity before going up. Mind you, doesn't mean it has to. That's just what I would like to see, us come down, take out some significant liquidity, right? Because if we were just going to sweep this low after creating that move there should have taken us up. But since that move came up and then we came back down to this low again, that's what makes me want to see some more significant liquidity be taken out, right, before going back up to engage those relative equal highs. Now, I also stated that this low could be all the liquidity sweep that we need to send us into those relative equal highs, right? But tomorrow's FOMC. So today, we just got a nothing burger, right? What do you mean by nothing burger, Tim? Well, on the overall time frame, right? On the overall time frame, this right here is where we opened at 6 o'clock. This right here is where we opened at midnight, right? And this right here is where we closed, right? So we opened up here, went up a little bit, and we came all the way down here and kissed below yesterday's low. Then we came all the way back up here, taking out the buy side liquidity. And then we just hung around these opening prices right here. The 6 o'clock open to midnight open, 6 o'clock open, midnight open, 6 o'clock open, midnight, 6 o'clock, and then close the day out right here, right above the upper quadrant of yesterday's wick, right? So we did a whole lot of back and forth just to close the day out, right? Just below the midnight open and below the new 6 o'clock open, right? This morning was a very difficult morning to just get a handle on what price wanted to do, right? In hindsight, to the untrained eye, just looks like this was a beautiful rally up right here. And why do I say to the untrained eye? All right. Because looking at this 15-minute time frame, right? What about this 15-minute time frame lets you know that this price action, this is the 9:30 open. Let me mark out this 9:30 open, right? Somebody tell me, what about this price action? And this is 12 o'clock, right? So I'm going to highlight the New York session from 9:30 to 12 o'clock. All right, 9:30 to 12 o'clock. All right, and this right here is the 9:30 open. All right, what about this price action from the 9:30 open right here up until 12 o'clock? What about this price action, just looking at this 15-minute time frame, lets you know? Not the, if you don't have a trained eye, don't worry about not knowing. Don't worry about trying to answer. But to those in the know who know how to look at price action on the higher time frame, what about this price action lets you know that this was relatively difficult to trade? There was a lot of back and forth. It's staring you right there in the face. Come on, tell me. Come on.
Those long wicks.
There you go. Those long wicks. And why is that? Somebody said a lot of wicks and no imbalances. Very good. Why is that? What do we know to be true about wicks, especially long wicks? But what do we know to be true about wicks? Not the fact that they are wicks are gaps. Not that. We understand that from Michael's teachings, but just to those in the know who understand how to look at price action, what are these wicks telling you? This wick, what are these wicks telling you? Right.
Deep retracements.
Yes. Every wick you see is an expansion and a retracement. Every wick you see, there's an expansion and a retracement. It matters not which direction it is. Why? Because at some point in time, at this wick right here, at some point in time, price went up and it came back down all the way throughout this area right here, right? And if we look at that area there, if I get the right thing here, get off of there, right? If you look at the area, that's roughly a 35-point wick, right? That's roughly a 35-point wick, right? That wick there, 52 points, right? That wick there, 35 points, okay, right? 17 points. That wick there, 34 and a half. You see what I'm saying? These are like probably 25 points. So it's going in this direction, that direction, this direction, that direction. And this is all within 15 minutes, right? This is within 15 minutes, right? So being able to look at a higher time frame in hindsight, right, and not get fooled by the fact that price is just moving upwards and then being like, oh man, look at that rally that I missed. You got to be able to look at price and be like, what did price actually do? Right? What did price actually do? Because can you see the difference between this move right here and this move right there? Right? This move right here is a lot cleaner, right? Yes, there's wick there, but it's not as bad as this. Because look at the wicks on these candles. This wick, this candle right here, right? Look how much wicks that is. And then look at this candle right here, right? You're going all the way down into that discount wick, all the way up above this wick, coming all the way. It's like chaos, right? So let's just look at this in the sense of, right? Let's say if you shout out Reckless Rachel. Let's go back to the throwback days when we used to always poke fun at Risky Randy and Reckless Rachel, right? Suppose you're Reckless Rachel, okay? You're Reckless Rachel or you're Risky Randy, and all you want to do is sit on the lower time frame, right? Because Michael said that trading on sub 1 minute charts is all the rage in England right now, right? All the rage in England. So this is when, right? This is when that candle closed right here on this 944 candle, right? And this is when that candle opened at 930, right? So that wick that you see, remember we said a wick is, what is this right here? It's an expansion and a retracement. Matter of fact, this is a full out reversal, right? At 930, we open up, we expand it down, right? And then we retrace, so deep we came up here and got a whole reversal, whole Judas swing, right? So all of this purple area right here, that right there, that's the bottom wick, right? So if this is what we opened up right here, that means that all of this right here is that top wick, right? So the top wick, you got a double dose because you went up, stop right there, made a temporary high, right? Came all the way down, came all the way back up, then made a new high. So you got a double dose on the top side, up, down. What that mean there? Up and down. What is that? What signature is that? When you go up, above buy side, and trade down below sell side. What is that right there? Judas swing. Very good. So you got a Judas swing off rip. Boom! Boom! Fresh bearish Judas swing. What does ICT 2022 model tell you to do right here when you get that fresh Judas swing? Take liquidity, take liquidity. What does ICT 2022 model tell you to do right there? If you, not just the model itself, but if you don't understand the model is based off narrative, if you just following the pattern, I'll put it like that, because the model don't tell you to do nothing right here. Because the model tell you got to have the bias in place in the narrative of what price trying to do, and you need to know if you're in a premium or a discount and yada yada you. Okay, but if you're just looking for the pattern, right, what would you be doing right here at this fair value gap? Ain't that's a unicorn model, right? What we got right here? Somebody tell me what this is right here. We got a high, we got a low, we got a higher high, and we got a break in market structure. Right? What is this down close candle right here? What is that? What's that down close candle right there? A breaker. Very good. What is that breaker in line with? What is that right there? All right. What is that?
The fair value gap.
Fair value gap. So when you got a breaker in line with a fair value gap at a quadrant level after a Judas swing, is that not a unicorn model right there? If you're just looking for patterns, you should be selling right there, right? But what happened? Head bust, right? Head bust. Why'd your head get bust? Because you're looking for a short in a discount right after manipulating sell side liquidity, right? Right after manipulating sell side liquidity, right? Not paying attention to the fact that you're at a discount PD array. So what does that make this low right here? Right? What is that low? Since we're coming down, we're in a discount, and this is a daily low right there. Right? Daily low, and it's the low of that wick, right? What is this right here now?
Smart money reversal.
Not smart money reversal. I said the low. What is the low? I ain't talking about this right here. What is this low? What is that? Very good, Kim. Very good, Kim. Right? So if you're coming down in a discount to a daily low, and then you see price manipulate the low like this right here, don't push through it, then come back and manipulate the low again like this, right? What should you be looking to see if what happens to this right here? You should be looking to see if that becomes what? You should be looking
If it inverts it.
Yes, you want to see if that becomes an inversion fair value gap. Right? Why are you looking to see if that's going to become an inversion fair value gap?
Because it's the leg that took liquidity.
42, 43, 44, 45. Go ahead.
It's the leg that took liquidity. So we want to see, that'll be like one of our early signs for a change instead of delivering.
Yes. So this move right here, right? Like she said, we're going in and we're attacking liquidity on the downside, right at the open. First presentation fair value gap. First fair value gap created in this attack on liquidity. Then we manipulate the lows. We don't just thrust through. We just manipulate the lows. So now we're watching to see if that becomes an inversion. Because of that becomes an inversion, right? This rejection of that low. What do we say when we reject the low? The reasonable target is the high that sent us there, right? The reasonable target is the high that sent us there. Okay. So if that we're waiting to see if that becomes an inversion, right? Once we get our inversion right there, right? Now we got manageable risk that we can get into a trade, right? To take it back up to here, right? Sitting back and waiting for the information. You're not just waiting because I want to wait, right? You're waiting because you want any trade that you want to get into, you want to have managed risk, right? You don't want to just get into a trade willy-nilly. That's why we don't chase price, because when price is just running off, right? I don't care if it ran off on the plug twice. If price is just running off, you don't have a place where you can properly manage your risk. But once you let the algorithm give you an algorithmic signature, you now have a place to put your stop and have managed risk. Because if price manipulates liquidity, right, and creates an inversion fair value gap here, now we know this is an algorithmic signature and price should be good to go back to there, right? There's nothing else in between here that should stop us from hitting that high right there, right? But we have stuff in between that we can watch, like this wick right there, right? So if you take a trade off the inversion fair value gap, now there you got a smorgasbord of places that you can place your stop. But Tim, what do you mean, right? So not only do you have, is that a gap up there? Is that a space there? I think it is. I know it's one there. Yep, it's a space there. All right. So we have our SIBI, right? We have our SIBI right there. Okay. So if you's waiting on this to give you confirmation, okay, we have our SIBI right there. Then you say, I'm getting long here, right? Uh-oh. The reason why I'm getting long there is because, yes, the SIBI is up here, but down here we have an implied fair value gap, right? So I want to come down here and get long. God dog it. Why do I keep grabbing the wrong tool? And get long down here. This is where I want to get long, right down here, right? So, right. So we got the inversion fair value gap here, and we trade back down, right? Well, first of all, you can say I want to get long there because when we come up here, we didn't even close above right now, right? We really ain't closed above right now. So it's not an inversion fair value gap yet. So we can't even look at this inversion fair value gap yet because we didn't close above, right? With the whole suspension block, right? With the entire suspension block there, we didn't close above, but in just in the sense of the FVG, right? We did close above, right? So you got the inversion there. And then here with this, you got the suspension block there, right? So you're trading down there, you're trading down there. Well, Tim, what is this thing you talked about? The implied fair value gap. I don't know if I said that, but if I didn't say it, y'all know I thunk it, right? So we come here and we come here, right? So there's a very small little implied fair value gap there. So if price wants to come back down into that, right, you can get long off of that there. All the different things that you get long off of. Also, you got the wick of this order block in there. You can look for reason to get long, but the primary thing you're looking at is, right, you got an implied fair value gap here, right, because you're buying the bullish PD array, but it's being supported by the inversion PD array over here, letting you know it's okay to buy. Okay, so come off of there. Oh, I was saying risk. Now you got a smorgasbord of risk, right? So now, right, you're getting long off of this right here. So now, right, you're coming down here. You got an order block here, right? So now you can come to the close of that candle right there instead of coming all the way down to the low or the swing low. Why? Because you have an order block resting right there, and that order block should block price, right? And if you come to that low is below mean threshold of that order block, right? Or you can go just below mean threshold of the order block, right? You can go just below mean threshold of the order block, or you can go to the close of the order block, right? You have, or you can just go with the safe stop down here at the low, right? But you can utilize other PD arrays to manage your risk, because if you're right, once we get up here, disrespecting this PD array, we're closing all the way near the high, totally blew through. If this is bearish, what should we do? We should defend all of this. That wick up there should have been the only thing that we should not have come back and got this closure up here. We're not defending the upper half of this SIBI right there. So the idea of it becoming an inversion off of this anticipatory reactionary point is confirmed there. Even though we didn't close outside, we're not defending the upper half. So now you're trusting buying this order block right there, right? Or you can go as far to say you're trusting and buying this with the anticipation of it becoming inversion, because we have already closed above the fair value gap. We haven't closed above the entire imbalance yet. Okay, we don't actually get the official inversion until over here. Okay. And then once you get the inversion over there, right, now you're looking to trade that fair value gap right there, right? Because we have an order block here, same thing. You're trading this fair value gap, and price should not disrespect that order block right there. So the same thing, if you're waiting for the inversion, all of this over here don't make sense in your brain, right? Or you can't see it, right? Now you're looking to trade off of that, right? And you have an order block right there. You can go below the close of the order block, maybe even mean threshold for less risk, or the swing low down there at the low, right? Got your pick of where you can put your stop loss based off of price action to say, okay, if I'm wrong, if price does this, I'm wrong, because if price trades back down through this order block, I'm wrong, because price has manipulated the lows, right? Created an inversion fair value gap before creating the inversion, right? We disrespected the inversion. We did not defend, right? We did not defend the upper half. So that's letting me know price doesn't want to use this as a bearish PD array. It wants to use it as a bullish PD array, right? And then we come up, right? We set this high right there, right? We set a high right there, and then we open up, trade down, and defend the lower half, touch the lower half and get up off of it. Now that it's a bullish PD array, right, we're defending it. Now that we're above it, and I said bullish, now it's a discount PD array, meaning, right, we've traded above it and now we're coming back down into it. Now we're defending the lower half. So now price has shown me 1, 2, 3 different times that it doesn't want to continue down right now, right? It doesn't want to continue down right now. And then we come up and we take out, right, that high. So now I'm looking to trade off of here, right? Does it mean you're going to be successful? Nope. But I'm just telling you how you look at price and say, okay, if I'm going to go in and trade these PD arrays, this is my risk tolerance. This is where I put it, because every trade ain't going to be a winning trade, but you want to go into it with defined risk management. If price does this, put me in. If it comes back here, I'm wrong. Take me out. May not be wrong in my direction, but I may be wrong at the time I'm supposed to be trying to enter this trade, right? Everybody understand? Everybody, I hit the wrong thing. Everybody understand? Do that make sense?
Yes, that was wonderful.
Copy.
Okay. Long as y'all understand, man, I done did my job. You feel me? I done did my job. And then if we look here, do y'all notice how we got this little bit of manipulation right there. Look where we went. We went just below that order block right there. That right there, this right here will break your heart, right? If you entered here on this fair value gap we was talking about, right? You put your stop below the order block right there, right? And then price was going in your favor, right? Let's see, right? Safe stop, you was good, right? If you went down below consequent encroachment of the wick, you was good, right? But if you went to the close of the order block, look at that right there. Look how dirty you got did, right? And this right here, yeah, I know y'all done heard me talk about it before. When we go just below the close of the order block and manipulate out the liquidity, because those relative equal bodies, that right there, that's a low right there. Remember we showed when we go to a line chart, right? What's resting right there on a line chart? That's a low, right? So if we come here, the algorithm knows that. It knows that because the counter that wicked you out, look at the counter that wicked you out. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Look at the count. This is the counter that wicked you out right here. That candle closed right here. I'm putting a little circle right there. All right, I'm gonna go back to the line chart. Look how dirty that is. That candle closed way up there at your entry, but it wicked all the way down there below that low. Is that not a dirty dog trick? Right? But that be that manipulation that I be talking about right there. So imagine this, right? You you enter a trade, get picked up here, price goes up, right? You feel like you well on your way, right? Moving real good. Feel like you're well on your way. Let's see here. We get picked up there. Oh, it get 20 points in your favor. Me personally, I probably been gone, right? But it gets 20 points in your favor, right? And then it turns around and comes against you, right? And now you're down, right? Now you're down 7 points, a little over 7 points. Now, and you're pissed, right? And then it goes back up and it goes, 31 points in your favor. 31 points in your favor. And then, like a dirty dog, it drops rapidly and stops you out. Stops you out for a no, that ain't 16. It stops you out for a 14.25 point loss. And then, like the dirty dog it is, right? It comes back up and rallies up and takes out your target. Right? Do you want to know how? Do you want to know how I can talk about this so confidently like this right here? Because little Timmy Rogers took a loss right here today, and he took a win right here this morning. Right? I shared it with the gang. I said, Price been tricky today. I took one win and I took one loss and one win. And I'm fun to go home and cry. I said I'm out. Right. But let me tell you the lesson that I learned. Right. So y'all know I've been talking about how trying to hold trades longer and yada yada you, right? So I'm trying to hold trades back up to the top, yada yada you, yada yada yada, right? So when I got manipulated out at this propulsion block right here, y'all want to know what I did? Right? When we traded down below that order block right there, right? Right. I was watching this long wick right here. Right. That wick right there. Watching that long wick right there. Right. And I remembered, right, getting manipulated out. Right. I remember getting manipulated out right here. Why is that? Right. Because when I didn't trade here, right? As we came down here, right? And we took out that low and respected that right there, right? I'm going in over here, right? Like once we respected that, I'm going in here, right? We're going up, right? I was pissed because I should have came off here, but I'm trying to hold, right? I came back, I got manipulated out at this right here. So now when we came over here, right? Once we came over here, right? We dropped down into that same order block that we manipulated me out. I said, okay, we're respecting it now, right? Then we came up here. We traded below that order block there, but we hadn't created it yet, but we already traded below, you know what I'm saying? This little low right here, not counting that, this little low right there. So now when we came here and we made this low here, not counting that, not counting the wick, right? When we made this low right here, I'm looking at this wick, right? I said, if we come down and take out that low there, right? I'm looking for a trading opportunity right in this area right here, right? Upper quadrant, lower quadrant, consequent encroachment, right? I'm trying to get in right here. I'm not waiting for this because we already manipulated that sell side right here. We traded down right there, right? Right? So we came down, right? Now, everybody looking at this as the low, right? But I'm looking right here, right? Because that's the lowest close right there. We come down and wick below that, right? So when we come down here, right, I'm watching this here. So I said, if we come down to manipulate that low, I'm looking to trade in this area right here, right? Looking to trade in this area right here. Okay. So I'm not trading a turtle soup, right? So what did I do? I waited for it to come below it, right? Once it came below it and it hit, when it went below consequent encroachment, as price was coming back up here, right? Once it was coming back up, right? I got long as we were leaving this wick right here, because now we've manipulated the low, right? We've manipulated the low, and now I got fixed risk. So as we coming out here, I'm going long somewhere inside here. I'm just eyeballing it. Right now I got fixed risk that I can put my stop at, right? Because we've manipulated this low, right? Now we've come back and manipulate this low and refuse to take these lows out again. So now I got fixed risk, right? We didn't want to come back here. We didn't want to come back there. I could pick any of these areas, right? I could pick any of these lows, that low or that low. I got a fixed risk that I can take, right? So now, right, I'm looking back up here, all right? Looking back up here. Now, I will tell you, right, price can't, when it was going up here, right, when price got here and started coming back down, I said, you got to be freaking kidding me, right? So I took my target from there, right, and brought it down lower, right? Because I said, if it come back down here, so I dropped my target lower because I'm pissed now. I'm all in my head about this chop, right? And then when price started to come back up, I said, you know what, Tim, you right. Tried to take my profit target, my take profit, tried to take it back and put it back here. But as I was moving it, it was a huge spike. It was like this crazy, like the algorithm knew I was trying to move it. It was a huge spike. I ain't gonna hold you. I got the luckiest feel of my life because I had it at consequent encroachment of this wick thereabout. I grabbed it and was trying to pull it back up, right? But it's still resting here. The order still resting here because I just clicked it and I'm dragging it. So it's still there. When that huge spike came up, the what's the name disappeared out, like I say, out my hand, but it was still like I was dragging it up. And when it spiked, the thing I was dragging disappeared. My take profit disappeared. There was a yellow, there was a yellow line somewhere around here, right? It was a yellow line somewhere around there. So I guess between it ripping real fast, I got slippage in my favor, right? So I end up getting filled at pretty much around where I wanted to get filled at anyway, right? I said all that to say, right? When price is doing stuff like this right here, just stay on the sideline, because once you take a loss and you're right, it does something to you mentally. Now it's hard to trust the process because, man, I just took this loss over here. I do this for a living. I can't afford to take 2 losses this morning. If I take 2 losses this morning, I'm not going to take a third. Then I got the end of the day red and I'm just trying to trade in this chop slop. Then I'm going to be pissed. Right? So do yourself a favor. When price doing this right here, just sit on the sideline. That's why I told the gang today. I said, look, man, don't force nothing today. Price trash. Don't force nothing today. Why did I say that? Because I was mentally drained. I was mentally drained when I got ready to go to the gym. All right. That was my long-winded way to just try to share something with y'all. Price, like I said this morning, was garbage. All right. But even in the midst of the garbage-ness, right, can y'all see how the algorithm used that wick? Mind you now, this wick was drawn out. Let me show you when this wick was drawn out. This wick was drawn out when price still didn't go back far enough. This wick was drawn out when price was here. Okay. And that wick was in effect or created. All right. I have to move this over because it looked like price touching it right now. That's where, I don't know if y'all can see those lines. Let me make sure y'all can see that. All right. So now, this is when that wick is in play. There you go. So everything to the left of this wick is before this wick truly existed. Once price closed right there, right, now this wick exists. The low is here. The high is here. Upper quadrant, consequent encroachment, lower quadrant, right? This is when that wick exists, starting right there at 6 o'clock. Actually starting at 5 o'clock, but right here at 6 o'clock. So all price action from 6 o'clock this way, right, is being created, and the algorithm is looking back into this wick. How do you know it's looking back into that wick, Tim? Because the algorithm looks in this direction. Right. It looks in that direction. Who could tell me how far back the algorithm looks? How far back does the algorithm look? And what increments do it look back?
Initially 20 days, then
Yep.
40, then 60.
Yep. It's looking back 20. It's looking back 40. And it's looking back 60 days for liquidity and imbalances. And PD array. It's looking back for liquidity, and just say liquidity and PD arrays, right? Its primary mission is to look back for liquidity, and then it's looking back for imbalances. And while it's looking back for liquidity and imbalances, it's looking for the breadcrumbs that it left behind. It's looking for the breadcrumbs that it left behind, right? Hold on. All right. So that daily wick right there, right? That's the daily PD array. Okay. That daily PD array is within that 20-day window, right? That sell side liquidity right there, that's liquidity within that 20-day window, right? So when we look at what price did today, okay, remember what we said. We took our magical fib tool, right, and we drew out the quadrants for that wick right there. And gonna hide this daily low, right? And we know that below the low of that wick is sell side liquidity from a daily time frame. So for 20 days back, it's looking 20 days back, right? And when it looks back here, right, there's some liquidity right there. Let's take that, right? And if you look, right, what do we say? The bulk of your trading opportunities are going to be inside of an algorithmic dealing range. That upper quadrant down to that lower quadrant, right? I'm not making it up, right? I can say it a million times till I'm blue in the face, but until you start to dig into your charts and see it, I'll tell you what, once you see it, you won't unsee it. All right. So let's go in here. Right now, mind you, now this is a 1 minute chart. This is a 1 minute chart. Right. I'm just gonna zoom in here like this. I know you see it. I know you. Let's go over here. We're gonna go here at 7 o'clock, right? Because time and price. We always want to think about time and price. All right, so that's 7 p.m. Okay, so coming into 7 p.m. Right? It's right here. That's the highest high right there. And this right here is the lowest low. Right, coming to 7 o'clock p.m. Because time and price is everything, right? Time is king. We say that all the time. Okay, so coming to 7 o'clock, that's our highest high, lowest low, right? Why you talking about that, Tim? This right here is our dealing range after 6 p.m. Right? After 6 p.m. Right? We've come up here, traded up above buy side liquidity, right? Traded away from our new day opening gap above buy side liquidity, right? In this area over there, there's some, don't matter where it's from, just liquidity. We crossed back over, right? Our gap, took out liquidity, right? So we got a high, we got a low, right? And we trade up here, we trade above that high right there. So now this low has taken out liquidity. That low right there has taken out liquidity twice, right? So now we got us a dealing range. Now we're coming into 7 o'clock. while we're looking at 7 o'clock, because this when we starting to pay attention to our kill zone, right? The Asian starts at 8. We're looking back, right? That's 60 minutes beforehand. That's 7 o'clock, right? 7:30, 7 o'clock, right? Looking at that 7 o'clock time range, 30 to 60 minutes back, 7 o'clock, right? Look what price does. Come down to our new day opening gap, trades back up. What does it do? Creates relative equal highs. And then look what it does. It does something very peculiar. Once it set these relative equal highs, right? When it dropped down and it took out the lows, where did it go? Look at the bodies. What is it respecting? Right? Once we drop down here into that order block right there, what is it respecting? That would be the high of that wick, right? That's a quadrant right there, right? That's a quadrant right there. This bullish order block right there, this bullish order block, this, we don't have a gap inside there, but this order block, they're all created right there on the high of that wick, right? After that wick was in place. Where are your high probability PD arrays going to be created? In conjunction with those algorithmic price points, the high, the upper quadrant, consequent encroachment, the lower quadrant, the low, right? Stop right there. Once we stop there, we rally up and we manipulate out the buy side. Price drops back down, right? Nice displacement right there. Right here on that high again, create a bearish order block and a SIBI right there. Okay. Trade up into the SIBI, drop down, take out the low, right? Drop down, because where are we consolidating? Right here at that low, right? Remember that low there? We took out that high. Now we've come back down to that low, right? That side. Once we took out that low, made a lower low, right? Consolidated at that low, right? Drop down into that BISI right there. That BISI was created before the wick was in place, but the algorithm knows that that's important, right? It created it right there at that same level. So it know that area is important, but we trade down in that as beforehand, but we still trade down into there, right? Once we trade down to there, price comes back up. And as it's coming back up, what does it do? Let's see what it does. Right. As price comes back up, it creates a BISI right there at that old low, right? Rallies up. What does it go? Right there to that SIBI. That's at that high and at that new day opening gap. Then it comes back down and it rests right there inside of that BISI right there, right? And what is that BISI doing? It's supporting price, right? And then once we get below that area right there, right, we drop down, trade up into it. Now what is it doing? It's resisting price, because if you just run a fee up through there like that, now you're defending the upper half, right? And what BISI does that happen to be? The first one that was created before going up there, right? Then once we come down, what does it drop to? Right there to that upper quadrant, right? Taking out that sell side, right there, the upper quadrant. That same quadrant level that was created before any of this price action started going, right? So then look here at these 1 minute candles now. Let's come over here. Right. So then we come over here, right? And we're consolidating right around that upper quadrant, right? Do. Pop up here, take out the liquidity. Oh, this is after midnight now, right? Right here starts midnight. So let's move this over here. We got a new time zone to look at now, right? We start midnight right there. Now we're looking at midnight, right? And then as we come into midnight, got us a new zone now. Midnight there. Over here. Right there. All right. So that's your highest high, and lowest low from 12 to 12:30. That's our opening range right there. All right. So inside of our opening range, right, we come in here at the 12, make our way down to the upper quadrant, right? It's our low. Then we come here, immediately tap into our lowest low of our opening range, right? Manipulate the low, jump up off of it, trade up here, right? Once we trade up here, right, we create a suspension block right there in line with that quadrant level right there. Trade, once we go up there, tap into the suspension block, then we trade up. We take, manipulate out short-term buy side, right? Then we drop down here, right? Once we get down there, back below the suspension block right there, trade back up into it, drop down, yada, yada, yada. Remember, first one, as we went up, get back below it, right? Trade back into it. Where's it residing? Right there on that quadrant level. That same quadrant level that was created way back before any of this price action happened, right? So then we come over here. We drop down below the low there, right? Trade up, low, trade down, low, come back up there, breaking structure, right? We trade down there. What's that there? 1, 2, 3 drives pattern, trade back up, breaking structure, trade down into the order block, rally back up, right? Come up here, set relative equal highs with the opening range buy side, right? Remember, we just took out the opening range sell side, create relative equal highs with the opening range buy side, trade back down to some ambiguous spot. Not really. There's a bullish order block resting right there on that quadrant level. And if we look all the way back over here, remember that first PD array that was created coming up that we used as an inversion here? Guess what happens here? We come back over to that same spot. You got a reclaimed fair value gap along with a BISI created right there on that quadrant level. All right. Take that and we rally back up into what? The buy side liquidity from the opening range. Okay. And all of the trading opportunities are coming where? Right there at the quadrant level. Yeah, there's other opportunities in here if you're skilled and you know how to trade this and trade that. But if you're just looking here, short opportunity. Just looking here, long opportunity. Right there on that quadrant level right there. But there's no algorithm. Get out of here with that algorithm mess. Okay, so we've taken out the buy side from the opening range, right? We come here, trade down into that BISI there, into that inversion fair value gap right there, and we trade back up to the new day opening gap, right? Once we trade back up to the high, poke above it again, and we break down, right? Does that look familiar? 1, 2, 3 drives pattern, drop down, breaking market structure, trade back up into the balanced price range right there, drop down. We don't get our eagle on, right? But we come down here, right? Flirting around with this upper quadrant there, drop down there, make a low, right? Come back there, create a Bessie there at that upper quadrant right there, trade down into it, come down here, manipulate out sell side, still inside of it, dirty dog trick like before, coming down below that order block, below that little pivot level right there, that little swing low without, I mean, on the line chart there, drop back down, but it's still coming back down into that thing there that's rushing up and get this one didn't quite touch the quadrant level, but you know, y'all get it. It's pushing through that quadrant level there. Use it as there. We come up here, right? Back up there to that midnight opening range high, right? Manipulating out that liquidity, trading up into that suspension block again, right? We traded up into it a little bit there, but we traded back up into that suspension block again right there, right? Then price came here, right there, and we got a huge displacement down, right? And it stopped somewhere, just randomly stopped somewhere, right? Right there. Let's see how close it came to that. If we put some numbers on this right here, so let's see how like how far off it was, because it just stopped at some random place. It just stopped at some random place there. So the low on that candle right there is 25,601, right? That quadrant level is 25,600 and a quarter. So 3 ticks above that quadrant level right there. Throwed on brakes hard, stopped in its tracks, right? And when we look back over here, let's see here, let's extend this to the, let's see what's over there on that side over there. I can't extend this. I thought you can extend these to the left. Oh, well, I guess you can't. I guess you can't extend them to the left. What is that? 601. Right there. Can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. Y'all see it for yourself. Y'all see it for yourself. When we came here, right? Came right here. That right there. Right here. Right. That's the PM session. Right. This right here is the PM session from Monday. It's the afternoon session right there. Right. So here we are. Come down here. Right. We're trading in this area here, trading around, right? All inside this little consolidation area there. When we get right here, 155 during this macro time, we displace down, right? What? Draw that so y'all can see it. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. This is a 1 minute chart by you now. So come here, there, come there, include the imbalance right there. Right. Can y'all see that? You see what it is? How many fair value gaps are before this right here? Right. You see any fair value gaps in here? Nope. So that means that's the first fair value gap. Right. When we're leaving this area here, we come down, we sweep this liquidity, then we get that change in the state of delivery right there. Right. That's the first SIBI that was created. Right. So when we get back above it, right, because that's the first SIBI before we swept liquidity, Got to change the state of delivery. Now we get back above it. We're anticipating to act as what? An inversion fair value gap. So we come all the way over here, right? Once we create it, trade away from it, right? And we squeeze this up so that we can see once we traded away from it, right? That right there is the very first time we came back down to it. The very first time we came back down to it. And then we came back down to it. We came in, right? And we failed to get to consequent encroachment, dipped into it, came right there in line with the lower quadrant of a daily wick, right? So now you got the lower quadrant of a daily wick. We're in between consequent encroachment and the upper quadrant of the PD array itself. We come here and do that right there, right? So you're in between consequent encroachment and the upper quadrant of the PD array itself, right? Halfway in between that, you got the quadrant of the daily wick, right? And then right there, that's what we came down to right there. Respecting that inversion fair value gap, wick way up off of it, right? Stopping right near consequent encroachment, right? And then, right, because we're talking about the wick now, right? We're talking about the wick, right? Stop right there around consequent encroachment here, right? Stop right around consequent encroachment, trade back down, right? Rally up, right? Create that SIBI, right? That SIBI is up there in the premium of the move, right? Premium of the move, come back down, find support where? At consequent encroachment, go back up where? To the upper quadrant, come back down to what? Consequent encroachment, taking out sell side, right? Go back up to the upper quadrant, taking out buy side, hang around the upper quadrant, hang around the upper quadrant, hang around the upper quadrant, come here, create a SIBI at consequent encroachment, right? Create a SIBI at consequent encroachment right there. Up, let's come back here. Forgot another important time there. Seven o'clock in the morning, right there. So now coming into 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Coming to 7 o'clock in the morning, we do the doing around upper quadrant, right? Set a low, right? Come here, upper quadrant again, right? We drop down, consequent encroachment, create a SIBI right there at consequent encroachment, right? We drop down, fall short of the inversion fair value gap, trade back up into that SIBI that's right there at consequent encroachment, right? We come down, right? And then come here into in 930 at our 930 open, right? We rally up to consequent encroachment right there. Did we take? I don't know if we took that. Let's see if we took that. Nope. Created relative equal highs right there. Right. So we rally up, right? We talked about this already. We rallied up, created relative equal highs there, right? We dropped down somewhere very random, right? Into the lower quadrant there, right? Drop to the lower quadrant, opened up there after sweeping out that low there, rallied up, came down, right? And we pushed up, right? We're right here around that inversion fair value gap. Now, not only are we over there by that inversion fair value gap from way back over there, right? That right there, the first imbalance created before we drop down below that right there, right? We talked about that already, right? We come down, used it as support, right? Ratted up, right? Took out the relative equal highs that was set, but it was bouncing off of what? That low. I said lower quadrant before, but it bounced off the low of that wick. That low of that wick was also the daily low. Okay. Then we come back up. Got too much stuff going on. Get out of my way. Move. Don't need you. Move. Don't need you. Lower quadrant. Right there. Right. Bullish order block at the lower quadrant. Inversion fair value gap at the lower quadrant. Right. See that? That first imbalance is created for going down to that liquidity, getting a change of state of delivery. Where was it created? On that lower quadrant. Right there. Right. Trade back up. Come down. Lower quadrant. Inversion fair value gap. Manipulating below the order block. Right. Come back up. Consequent encroachment. Lower quadrant. Right. Consequent encroachment. Upper quadrant. Consequent encroachment. Upper quadrant. Right. Y'all get the picture. Y'all get the picture. I ain't got to point out every little thing. Right. I ain't got to point out every little thing. But if you don't understand, right, harnessing the power of understanding where ICT PD arrays are going to form, you're doing yourself a major injustice. A major injustice. You want to be able to identify, you want to be able to understand order flow and price delivery. If you understand bullish order flow and you understand price delivery, you got everything you need. Because if you understand order flow and price delivery, right? If you understand you're in bullish order flow, then you understand how price delivers. Now you know, I got my dealing range. We're in bullish order flow. All I got to do is look for PD arrays that's going to be set up at these specific levels in the future to support my bias. If I'm bearish, I'm looking for PD arrays to be set up in these quadrants in the premium. I'm looking for PD arrays to be set up in these quadrants in the discount, right? Based off bullish or bearish order flow. If you understand order flow and price delivery and where to anticipate where the PD arrays are going to be created, sky's the limit when you know that you keep on and keep on pressing on. Sky's the limit and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want. Can I say anything bad boy related? It ain't safe to sing bad boy songs right now. And everybody used to be wondering why Puffy used to always say, take that, take that, take that, take that. Fit tried to tell y'all. Y'all that want to listen. Hey, that's all I got, man. Anybody got anything for me?
This is probably simple, but I can't figure it out. Your how we divide stuff into quadrants or anything else. How are you getting the text over there? I get the numbers and then the value.
You just click on it and type it in. If you're doing it on the phone, it's like kind of hard. You got to like spread it out so that you can click your finger right on there. But whenever you make a Fibonacci tool,
right? Yeah, I went to that. Okay.
Hold on. Let me fix this back like it's supposed to be before I forget. Put it back like it's supposed to be.
Hey, Tim, remember I asked you a while ago you should do a little session on how to use them tools,
What you mean, how to use them?
how to mark up the calendar and stuff. Yeah, we sit here and watch you do it every day, but you never.
Yeah, I think I did that before. Y'all.
Me and you did it. I don't remember doing it in class.
Oh, okay. I don't be remember when I talk about stuff. I just know I do it. Yeah, hey, man. All right, so the Fibonacci tool. Right. So when you take your fib, right, and you anchor it to whatever, I like the the way I draw mine is I want my 25% to be the lower quad on the bottom side, the lower quadrant, and I want my 75% to be the upper quadrant, no matter if it's a bullish or bearish PD array. So when I do mine, I always anchor it on the highest point first and drag it down to the lowest point. All right. The way I have it set is I just got 0, 25, 0, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, and 1. It don't matter which square you put it in. It don't matter what color you make it, right? Make this bigger so y'all can see it. Right. So now, when it comes to levels and text, right? All of that is over here in your font size, right? You pick your font size, what you want it to be, right? And if you want the price to show, you just put the price on there. If you don't want the price to show, take it off. If you want the levels to show, you put the levels. You don't want the levels to show, you take the check out, right? So I'm just going to put in the check, right? Now, when it comes to text, when you first create the Fibonacci tool, right? When you first create the Fibonacci tool, the text box is going to be right in the middle, right? When you first create it, it's going to be right in the middle, right? But, and you see over here how I got it saying put the text to the right. Once I start typing in, that's where the text is going to go. You can tell it to leave it in the center. You can tell it to put it on the left, wherever you want the text to go. Same thing with the number, with the labels. You tell it to put it in the center. You can tell it to put it on the left, right? I just like mine to be on the right. I like it to be on the right edge of the screen. All right. And then the values, you know what I'm saying? You can have it at percents or values. Okay. Now, when you first create it, it's going to be right in the middle. If you hover the fib tool over it, it says add text. If you click in there, you see how mine jumped over to the right over there, because that's where I got my text for my that's where I got it set. Like if I set it to center, right? I'm gonna set it to center. I'm just gonna leave that to the right. Set it to center, come here, click on it. See, it stays in the center because that's where I got it set to. But when you first create it, it always defaults to the center. So you hover over the center of it and it will give you the option to add text. Right now, see how I'm coming over here and it's not giving me the option to add text, even though I got it set to the right. Right, once I come in there and I add text in it, fib text, right? Now that I add that text there, now I can come over there and click over there to add text. That's why I say when you first create the tool, right, it's going to be in the middle right here. When you first create it, it'll be right there in the middle. But once you add the text, right, if you got it, see if you got the text in there, see I'm right there in the middle. It's not letting me do nothing. Now I can come over here. If you move your text, wherever you move it to, that's where you got to click to update your text. And so the only thing I do is like I create, like I'll put premium wick day 12, 9, 25. And then I hit Control A to highlight it all, Control C to copy it. Then I come to the next line, paste, click the next one, paste, click the next one, paste, click the next one, paste, right? And so now I got my lines labeled on my Fibonacci tool, right? And then if I come in the next day and I want to do another premium wick, right? Because I got it set, and then I got it set on the intervals I want to show. Just if I only want to show it on this level, current intervals and below. It's set just like I want to set it, right? So the next day I come in, I got another daily wick I want to set, right? I just copy this, right, and put it over to the other wick that I want to set, then I'll just come in here and I click there, go over there, change that to 10. Now I ain't got to retype everything, highlight, copy all, click, Control A, Control V, click, Control A, Control V, click, Control A, Control V, click, Control A, Control V. Now I got a new wick set on the same levels, right? If I come here to visible, it's only showing on the 1 minute and below, right? Everything is all set. I ain't got to, you know what I'm saying, redo all. I just, you know, update one line and copy and paste, right? So that's how you get the text in there, right? That's how you get the quads in there, and you can position it however you want to position it. I just like to have the numbers and stuff small, and I typically don't use the prices because I'm just visually looking at the lines, and I just want to glance over there and see what is that. That's a daily wick, right? That's a daily level we're coming up to. It's the upper quadrant, and then I always, you know what I'm saying, I always drag it from the, I put it on the high of it and drag it to the low of it, no matter if it's a premium or discount, bullish or bearish, because I always want my 75 to be the upper quadrant and my 25 to be the lower quadrant, no matter if it's a bullish PD rate or a bearish PD rate. Some people like when it's a bearish PD rate, they like for their 25% to be at the top, because that 25% just represents you're only digging down into the PD array by 25%, right? And you're respecting the lower half, right? You're respecting 50% of it. But in my mind, I just look at that as upper quadrant, lower quadrant, because that's what it is. It's the upper quadrant and lower quadrant in my mind. I don't care that it's 25% bearish or 25%, 25% bullish or 25% bearish, right? I'm just looking at it's respecting the upper quadrant, it's respecting the lower quadrant. That's why I always wanted to be the 75 on the top, because in my mind, the 75 is the upper quadrant. You can do it how you want to do it, right? Now, when it comes to field projections, right? When it comes to field projections, right? I delete this. When it comes to projections, I click it and I drag it in the direction that I want to project, right? So if I want to project bullish, I click at the low and I drag it higher, right? I drag it from the low to the high that I'm doing. So if I'm projecting bullish, I'm gonna go to the low, click it, then I'm gonna go back to the previous high, right? And then when I put my field projections on, project bullishly, it projects up, right? Let me make this thicker so you can see it, right? It projects up. And now you see it's projecting up, right? And how I have that set, the reason why I do it like that is because I set mine with negative numbers, right? If you put all positive numbers in yours, then you would drag it in the opposite direction that you want to project, right? If you want to project, if you put positive numbers in here, you would have to drag down for it to project up, and then drag up for it to project down. But for me, to make stuff make sense in my head, I want to project up. So I'm gonna click and I'm gonna drag it up, because I want to see how far can something swing in this direction. So if something come down, I want to see how far to swing up, right? So if I'm looking at how far to swing up, I want to see, I'm gonna click here and see how far to go. It's going in that direction. So that's why I put negative numbers in. All right. So, and then the negative numbers that I put in there, right? You got the 0 and the 1, right? The 1 is your low, the 0 is your high. Okay. The 1 is your low, the 0 is your high. Then it's half a standard deviations on the projections, negative 0.5, negative 1, right? That's one full standard deviation. Negative 1.5, negative 2. And y'all get the picture. Negative, 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 right? So it's half standard deviations on the projection, right? And then it's the opposite for bearish, right? I'm gonna click here, right? And then drag it down, right? And then I'm gonna set it for bearish, right? Right, set it for bearish. Make it thicker, right? So there's my high, there's my low right there. Over here, your 0, your low, your 1 is your high, right? Over here, 0 is your high and your 1 is your low, right? For the bullish and the bearish, because you're anchoring then pulling, right? Anchoring and pulling. Wherever you anchor it, that's the 1, right? Wherever you anchor it is the 1. So if you anchor it and pull it down, right, the 1 is going to be the high, right? The 1 is going to, the 1 is going to be the high, right? If you anchor it and pull it down, the 1 is going to be the high. If you anchor it and pull it up, the 1 is going to be the low. Wherever you anchor it, that's going to be the 1 inside your fib settings, right? So, and then the same thing, negative numbers, right? Going down, negative numbers. And so, yeah, that's how you set your Fibonacci tools, right? And it's the same way with like any way you do anything. You just click in there and you can add text inside the little levels, right? Just go to that middle, add text inside the levels. All right. And then all my fib tools that be looking different like that, it's just based off what I want to show. See, I'm just showing for my consequent encroachment. I don't want to show nothing but the middle line. And then my trend, I got my trend line showing as a dotted line, but you can hide that trend line, right? But I just got my trend line showing so I can see where it's anchored at, right? Then when I go to quads, that's OTE. All right. When I go to quads, all right, got it. I don't have the trend line showing, right? There's no trend line showing because all I got showing, see, I got a trend line turned off and all I got showing are my 5 levels. The high, the low, and the 0, 1, and then the 3 quadrant levels. So it's like you can tailor it to the way it makes sense to you. But that's the gist of it, right? How to design it, what levels to use, what settings to use, and then how to get the text inside there. All right. And with the Fibonacci tool, you can't edit the text inside the settings. Right? Like how when you go inside of a rectangle, right? You can come inside here and you can edit the text inside there. You can't edit the text inside the settings on the fib tool, right? Only thing you can do to the text is make it bigger or smaller, right? You can only make it bigger or smaller. That's all you can do. You can't go in and make it lighter and opposite without changing the lightness of the actual line, right? When you darken the lightness of the line, it darkens the text too, right? So there's nothing you can't, like, it's only certain things you can do to the text, right? But when you want to actually add or change the text, you got to do it by actually clicking on the actual line. But if you want the magic fib tool, you got to go to Amazon and buy that. Right? Just the regular fib tool that come, it ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna show you what a high probability setup's gonna be. All right, you need the magic fib tool for that. I got the magic fib tool. Right. So that's why when y'all see me draw my fibs out, it be like respecting the levels and it be getting them high probability setups at those levels because, you know what I'm saying, I got the magic fib tool. Right.
Man, get on out of here. Hey, Did you hit my button or that was a mistake?
Hit what button?
It said you wanted me to unmute.
I don't. I might have clicked on
I
something
don't
on
know. And my
accident.
hand been raised on that since last time. How you make that go away? Can you see that?
Let me see here. I don't see. Let me see. I don't see your hand. Let me see. It usually pops something up that says lower hand, but that's just I see it on mine. I can see like lower hand on mine, but I can't
Okay,
see.
it's gone now.
Oh, okay. I clicked on lower hand. That might have been my hand because it was hand on me.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Let me know if it can see. Do you see it again now?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it when I be putting my hand up, it be seeing my hand raised.
Oh,
Yeah. Cause I was gonna say your hand not raised, my hand raised.
so it's your hand. I just saw it on the
Yeah,
screen.
it was just on the screen. Oh, it said I can make you a host when I click on that. Say make host. Make host, rename, pin.
Did your magic field come with the crystal ball or that was so separate?
They had a crystal ball option, but I opted out of it because you know what I'm saying. I used to live next door to the witch lady growing up, and I'm scared of them roots and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I ain't get the crystal ball option. I just got the
Actually,
magic
those just the
field.
palm readers that use the crystal balls.
Either
You
way
can't
it
be
go.
mixing the root lady with the palm
Oh,
reader.
my bad, my bad, my bad. Yeah, it's okay, so it's a difference between voodoo and hoodoo. Okay, I got it. I got Empire Traders come in talking some YM leading the drop tonight. Man, I don't care. He ain't got nothing to say to me until you come up saying, Tim, I took that withdrawal. Empire Trades, oh, he left. He go. Anyway, that's all I got, man. Anybody else got anything else for me? Let me see who stayed around on YouTube. Anybody still in YouTube? Oh, it still says a couple people. Oh, wait a minute. I just say concurrent. It don't say like right now. How many people still in here on YouTube? How many people stuck around for that? Kim, I know Kim up in here. Kim ride or die. What's up, Felicia? Felicia's still up in here. People starting to disappear when I ask who's still in here. I ain't gonna ask y'all to do nothing, man. Number start going lower when I asked who was in here. All right, man. That's all I got.
All right, Tim, appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, C Walt. Hey, what's up, honey? Honey, how that grandbaby doing, honey? He should be working at Walmart now, ain't it? That boy grown now, ain't he? That boy grown by now. He should be working at Walmart. Should be getting ready to collect his pension. He got a cold. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Not a cold. Not a cold. Let me see what Empire Trade is talking about. Talk about YM Lee, and I bet YM went down like 5 points. What did he say? He said YM. What did he say on there? Hey. YM leading the drop tonight. Let's see how far let's do this together. Let's see how far YM dropping. All right, so this is daily counter for YM. Peak to trough, 57 points on the YM. From peak to trough, the highest high to the lowest low. From where it opened to the lowest low is only 36 points. My man said Lee in the drop. I'm thinking of fun to come over here and see a candle like this right here, right now. That's why I'll be paying people no attention. They be like, oh, we selling off. We selling off. You know what they be doing? They be zoomed in on like a 15-second chart. And they be looking at They be looking at the price action right here. You see here, what's 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock. All right. This is what they be looking at like this right here. So they be zoomed in on a 15-second chart and be looking at this. Oh, it's dropping. It's dropping. Stop. Boy, stop. Quit that. All right. All right, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow, Wednesday. Oh, man. Got to do tape reading in the morning. Got to do what? Singer Jubilant Sykes fatally stabbed. Who is Jubilant Sykes at his California home and his son is in custody? Oh, so his son killed him. Who is Jubilant Sykes? Anybody know who Jubilant Sykes is?
I have no idea.
I just seen it pop up. I thought it was that one actor. I can't think his name, but when I saw the face, I saw fatally and I stopped to look. What they're saying about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel charged Trump for hosting sorry, squirrel. Sorry about that, y'all. Got sidetracked for a minute. Got tape reading tomorrow. Man. I be trying to hang on for y'all. Y'all say y'all get a lot of help from me live streaming and doing the things I do. So I'll be trying to hang on for y'all.
Let me give you a prime example, Tim.
Prime example of what?
Sunday when I got off and I saw the recording for the Q&A, but I wasn't able to watch it till like 3 a.m. And have you ever seen The Color Purple? Wait, Sophia. Wait, Sophia's in that store and she see Celie come in. And she's at the Thanksgiving dinner table and she was saying, when I see Miss Celie come in, I know it's a God. That's how I feel when I saw that Q&A.
I was feeling so bad.
I was feeling so bad. Yeah. I saw that recording and I was like, yes.
What happened in the Q&A that made you feel just say, Miss Celie helped me that day? I know there was a God.
Yes.
Oh, shut up, old fool. Miss Sophia home. Boy, you gonna let that woman talk to you like that? You sit at the head of your table? What happened in the Q&A?
No, that's what I'm saying. When I saw the recording, I was like, yes. You know.
You just felt that.
Yeah.
You felt that.
Yes.
It just wasn't nothing in particular that was in there. It's just that
I
there was
I
a
had
God.
access to it. You know.
I know there was a God. I had access to it.
Yes.
Hey, I'm glad y'all find value in what I do. All jokes aside, man, I enjoy helping people. I know how I am. I be getting tired of stuff, but I really do enjoy helping folk. And when I don't feel like y'all need me anymore, I be ready to move on. That's why I ask y'all like a million times, do anybody got anything? Do anybody got anything? Do anybody got anything? Because it's like I'm basing it off of y'all. Y'all see like this stuff in the past that I stopped doing, and you have people like, man, why I love when you was doing that. But I'm like, the participation wasn't showing that. And not just the live participation, because I know people got families. I'm talking about like the viewership or whatever you call it after the fact. it wasn't showing that you loving it. It wasn't showing that you like it. It wasn't showing, you know. So it's like I be going off of y'all because I can talk to them blue in the face, but if I don't know that somebody need to know how to set up a fib, I may not never think to talk about that, you know. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people just got helped because Yolanda opened her yap and said, "Hey Tim, how do you put the text on there?" Right? So it's like, you know, it's led by y'all. So it ain't just one of the things where I just be like trying to make you participate. I really need to know how you need to, you know what I'm saying, what you need to hear, what you need more of. Because what I need more of might not be what you need more of. What Jim need more of might not be what Lump need more of. Right? But some of y'all may share similar needs, but if ain't nobody saying nothing, you know, they say closed mouth don't get fed. You know, so at the end of the day, that's a long-winded way of me just saying, help me help you and let's help each other. You know what I'm saying? I really do love our community. It's nice and small. It ain't no idiots in here. It's a few people that get on my nerve, but that come along with the territory. You know what I'm saying? If that stone just stroked you across your anus, slide from up under the porch and holler. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know who you are. And I don't care. I
I
don't
guess
have
the
I
question
don't have
is,
what's the
how do
question?
you obviously you got to do what you know you're gonna do as far as family time, but how do you really gauge it when you have people at different levels? And I know you always have an open platform. I'm not saying and you never make anybody feel stupid for asking a question. So, but how do you gauge it when you have so many people at different levels and some people may not know what to ask? Does that make sense? Or
Yeah. I try to what I try to do is I try to like give a mixture of um what I'm focusing on. Like I'll like sometimes we'll focus on like dealing ranges. Sometimes we'll focus on like first presentation. For sometime we'll focus on like um opening ranges or specific liquidity and a lot of it is like tied together because it's stuff that you need to do every day. But it's like lately for like the last 2 weeks or so, we've been talking about quadrants heavy. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about quadrants heavy. And so it's like just like before, we was talking about dealing ranges heavy. We was talking about, you know, so I try to go through different aspects on it and shine lights on different aspects on it because that one piece might be the piece that somebody's missing, but I don't know what somebody's missing. But you know what I'm saying? I just try to focus on like different aspects on it as we go through just day to day to day to day to day, you know, and then if somebody asks something in particular, then I'll highlight that. But you know, when it comes to like different skill levels, there's always going to be somebody that's way ahead of the pack and somebody that's far behind the pack. And I just try to do my best to not insult anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I try not to insult anybody and I try to make it engaging for everybody, right? You know, succeed, fail, I don't know. But I just try to, you know what I'm saying, make everybody feel welcome for lack of better terms. What else y'all got for me? Well, all right, today. Tomorrow we got tape reading session with the Diamond members and the YouTube mentees. Right. Still a few people signed up on YouTube. So Diamond members and YouTube mentees tomorrow at 9. Tape reading session. Again, again this Saturday. We will not be doing the second Saturday Q&A inside the Smart Money Mentorship. We're going to push it back to the third Saturday, which is the 20th at 12 p.m. because I'll be out of town. My oldest baby graduating from college. All right. Yeah, that's it, man. Hopefully y'all got something out of this. If you got something out of this, hit the like button. It was your first time tuning in. You probably ain't here no more because we done been on here for about 2 hours. For everybody who stuck around, I appreciate y'all. Yeah. Till the next time I decide to get on Al Goes in there to share my thoughts and this thing they call price action. It's your boy, Timothy Lee Rossi, aka I run your grande. That's just big spot if you know how blue it's been. Yo, y'all be safe out in these trading streets, man. Gone. Yeah.